News this morning. Eastern Kentuckians are stepping up to help after an unthinkable tragedy right before Christmas. And one southern Kentucky man is fighting for his life after an ATV crash.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Welcome to Mountain News This Morning. I'm Neely Green here with you on this Monday, December 29th. The time is now 5:31, and let's check in with meteorologist Megan Duswell. Megan Duswell for a look at your forecast. I'm still stuck in last week, Megan. I'm so sorry.
Oh, no, you're good. I'm still stuck in 2025. I'm not ready for 2026 to come knocking on the door either. But in terms of temperatures today, it's definitely going to be a very dramatic switch in what we're seeing last week versus this week. I mean, we're talking a cold front dropping us from the 60s, and some folks saw the 70s too, right? And we're going to be seeing 30s today and tomorrow. So it's going to get very cold very quickly. And we are still seeing a little bit of that rain this morning, especially as you're traveling more towards our eastern counties. Now, by the time we get to 8 o'clock, we're going to be nice and dry. Just looking at partly cloudy skies taking over that forecast. A relatively good start to your day, I guess, as it's a little bit warmer. But by the time we head into the afternoon, that's where we're going to drop down to those 30s. We do have a very, very slight chance for a wintry mix around 7 o'clock in our Virginia counties. But altogether, though, it's just going to be a very windy day, so keep that in mind. Neely.
Thank you, Megan. A Christmas Eve fire has left a Laurel County family devastated. They lost nearly everything they own, but say they're grateful to still have their lives. Now they're urging other parents to discuss fire safety plans with their kids. Maggie Rickerby shares their message and shows us how the community is stepping in to make sure the family has a place to live.
Devastating. I mean, there's no words for the hurt. You know, you stand out there and just watch everything gone.
It was Christmas Eve in the Shackelford house.
We just had open Christmas gifts. Kids was playing. 2 boys was in the back room playing their games. We laid down for the night in the living room. My wife gets up, goes checks on the other boys, and she hollers his house is on fire.
Joshua Shackelford and his wife, parents to 6 children, sprung into action.
So I ran around the back of the house to try to get a water hose. It was too late. The porch was gone, and by the time I ran back around, we had to get the kids out.
The kids got out safely, and no one was hurt, but Shackelford says it could have ended differently. He's urging other parents to go over fire safety plans with their kids.
Because I didn't do it with my kids, and if I couldn't have made it to them, they wouldn't know what to done. They'd have been stuck in the back of the house. I'd end up running back there getting hurt, or all 3 of us could have got hurt.
Right here behind me is where the family says they believe the fire started. They say that all of this damage happened in just about 15 or 20 minutes.
I mean, you didn't have time to think about nothing, just get.
The Shackelfords lost almost everything, but within hours, their community showed up for them.
You can never repay what people has done.
Local schools, churches, businesses, and neighbors brought clothing, new Christmas gifts for the kids, formula, diapers, and more. Shackelford says they've gotten help from throughout Laurel County and even out of state. And one of the biggest gifts they received?
There was a guy that I ain't gonna mention no names, but his boy plays ball with mine. He has given us a house to stay in and furnished it, no cost.
Since the fire, Shackelford wants to move forward and make sure others learn from the experience too.
Please teach your kids fire safety.
In Laurel County, Maggie Rickerby, WKYT.
If you'd like to help the family, they're still in need of household essentials like towels and cookware. Donations can be dropped off at their home. In Jackson County, people are starting to raise money for a family devastated by a fire. Last week, a fire left 3 children dead and 4 other people injured. Kentucky State Police say they are continuing their investigation into the fire, but there's not much they can say right now. An emergency fund has been set up to help the survivors of the fire and others in need. The fund was created by Sue Caldwell and Lynette Hunter. They also say a fundraising event will be held next month at Jackson County High School.
I don't know what it is. There's just something that, I mean, we can argue and fuss and, you know, as a county, we can hate each other, but when something happens, everybody just comes together.
Donations can be dropped off at WWAG Radio in Tenier. We'll have more about this on WYMT.com. KSP continues to investigate a homicide on Christmas Eve in Rowan County. Around 5:30 Wednesday evening, police got a call that a man had been shot on the 6,000 block of Christie Creek Road in Moorhead. The coroner pronounced the 39-year-old man dead in the driveway. His name has not been released. KSB tells us so far no arrests have been made and the case will be presented to a grand jury. A Pulaski County family is asking for a Christmas miracle. William Adkins is fighting for his life in the ICU after an ATV crash on Christmas Eve. His wife Rebecca says the ATV's tire broke, flipping the ATV and crushing his neck. William was rushed to UK Hospital where Rebecca has stayed by his side ever since. Doctors say William is not expected to wake up. The family is now relying on faith and says they need prayers to help pull him through.
They don't think he's going to recover, but I feel like I know better because I know God can turn the situation around, you know?
The family has started a GoFundMe to raise money for medical bills as well as food and gas for family to stay by his side in the ICU. ATVs are a popular Christmas gift, but they can also be dangerous when not used with the right safety equipment. According to the Consumer Product Safety Commission, Kentucky ranks in the top 5 of all U.S. states with the most ATV accident-related deaths. So far, people take their holiday gifts out for a drive. Safety officials are giving tips on how to stay safe and avoid accidents.
Well, it all falls with the operator behavior. A lot of the times, if you're speeding, you're driving reckless, you're going to cause a crash. And typically with an ATV crash, it's high risk. There is going to be injury, and sometimes even fatalities occur.
Safety officials say you should always wear your helmet and stay off public roads and highways as much as possible. In Corbin, police are investigating after a bank was robbed. Here is a picture of the man accused of committing the crime. Police say they were informed about Forch Bank on Master Street being robbed around 10 a.m. Friday. Police believe the man is in his 40s and had on all black clothing and lime green tennis shoes. If you have any information, you're asked to contact Corbin Police at 606-528-1122. In Jackson County, a man is facing a long list of charges after he allegedly pretended to be a police officer and then led police on a chase. 43-year-old James Gabbard was arrested Thursday. Sheriff's deputies say Gabbard was trying to stop vehicles on Lodge Hall Road until he ran into the McKee chief of police. The chief identified himself and ordered Gabbard to get out of the vehicle. That's when Gabbard sped off, and once police caught up to him, we're told he resisted arrest and continued to claim to be a police officer. Gabbard is facing 8 charges, including disorderly conduct, reckless driving, resisting arrest, and terroristic threatening. The Knights of Columbus of Georgetown is donating $3,000 toward the completion of a foster group home. The Berea facility will serve teenage girls who have survived human trafficking. Lisa Foster is the founder of Redeeming Hope. The place is built in honor of her daughter, Jordan Wesley Morgan, who was murdered in 2022. Jordan Morgan was a prosecutor on the Northern Kentucky Human Trafficking Task Force. Linda Blackburn with Redeeming Hope says the idea is to help those victimized prosper.
We will help the victims thrive, to heal, and hopefully to help to give them the power to not be re-victimized.
This house and the people to soon occupy it hope they can slow human trafficking of children and teens. If you're someone who decorates with a real Christmas tree during the holidays and you're ready to start putting away the decoration, there's one way to dispose of your tree that can be seen as a final gift this season. WYMT's Buddy Forbes has more about Christmas for fishes.
Christmas may be over, but cleaning up your decorations could help provide a ho-ho home for some unexpected neighbors.
If we do our job right, if we build these habitat sites right, they will be productive fishing areas for our anglers.
The Kentucky Department of Fish and Wildlife Christmas for the Fishes program kicked off Friday, asking Kentuckians to not discard but donate their live Christmas trees to one of its 37 drop-off locations throughout the Commonwealth, including the Jenny Wiley State Resort Park in Prestonsburg.
Once we get those there, we're going to be adding an anchor to them, and we'll be putting those on our barges and placing them in the lake, to enhance our fish habitat spots.
The trees will be combined into clusters, creating natural underwater habitats to replace decaying areas, which officials say is a way to provide safety to the fish population, especially as water levels drop and fish become more vulnerable to predators.
Largemouth bass, crappie, and bluegill are kind of our most common species we see on these sites. That's the main goal of this. Our fish populations need these sites for refuge and cover. They're going to use them as feeding areas as well.
Which also provides a pool of potential for outdoor tourism, packing the waters with hot spots where anglers can cast.
We're just adding to existing structure and recognized sites that are already here, and that way they'll continue to be reliable sites. You don't have to go back and change our maps, and it's already recognized habitat here, and people are used to fishing these, and we're just kind of freshening them up with some new structure.
A Christmas gift that just keeps giving.
I enjoy it a lot. It gives people a place to go catch some fish. It's pretty awesome.
Making sure the fish just keep swimming. In Floyd County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
Donated trees must be real trees and should be free of decoration and lights. No limbs or reefs will be accepted, and you can see that list of drop-off locations on our website. The Lexington Police Department is working to add a new piece of technology to their toolbox thanks to a partnership with Eastern Kentucky University. The Federal Aviation Administration reports there are more than 822,000 registered drones in the U.S. as of July. EKU is working on a public safety protection program that will give law enforcement the ability to identify and contact drone users that might be interfering with the airspace during an investigation. The device is known as Drone Tag, and research grants are helping to test and fund the project.
We do have instances where we've had folks that have flown very close to our drone when they shouldn't have, and we don't want to knock anything out of the air, and so it'd be nice to have a very quick way to go find that person to tell them you can fly all you want, but just need to keep some space in between us so everybody can fly and not have any danger of clipping wings or clipping rotors and allowing something to fall out on either somebody or into a building or on the roadway.
The device they have been testing is portable and can attach to their drones. There's also a possibility of looking at placing the drone tag at stationary sites. It costs about $1,200. With the new year just 3 days away, movie theaters are gearing up for a star-studded 2026.
And we're talking rain chances for today, but it'll be tapering off throughout the week.